And now Governor Green has approached the podium. Let's go ahead and send you live to that news conference right now.
Aloha. What an extraordinary year. A year ago yesterday, devastating wildfires swept through West Maui and other parts of this county and Big Island, burned the town of Lahaina down, took 102 of our loved ones and probably 2 additional who we haven't found, left thousands more homeless. We've spent the last several days talking about this, and yesterday was a day of reflection where we had our hearts broken again as we spent time with the families. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what has happened over the last year and what's going to happen in the coming year as we recover, as we heal. This was unprecedented for us. The year was filled with immense challenges, as you know, but people were so resilient. And that's what we've seen over the last 24 hours, especially as we've been with all of the families who had so much loss and in the community. And Mayor, you brought people together so extraordinarily. Thank you. Thank you from our hearts, the way you've done that for people. So I'm here to, of course, honor the memory of those we lost on August 8th, but I want to talk about how this recovery is going to come together and how houses will be built and how we will get additional services for people. So 12,000 people plus were displaced, over 3,000 properties were destroyed. The estimated cost of the overall recovery will ultimately exceed $12 billion, and we will unpack that for people. It is not about money, it is about healing, and that's what we have to do as a team, and this has all been a team effort. Thank you. More devastating than that material loss was the loss of our fathers and mothers and grandparents and in some cases children. That was the hardest thing for all of us to see, I think, and Jamie and I spent time thinking about that with all of you yesterday as we walked and saw the pictures of loved ones. So what do? We do everything now possible to help those families and all the families recover. I want to recognize and thank all the firefighters in this moment and the first responders who went into harm's way. So many more people could have been lost if they didn't do what they did. So firefighters and police, just extraordinary, and all of the team that went into the field. So you were heroic, and so we owe you this recovery. So the response was immediate from every corner of Hawaii. Organizations and communities stood up immediately, and new leaders rose. I want to single out Archie Kalepa, who essentially created a response team with the mayor in the first hours. Lives were saved as we tried to fly into the island. We should never, ever forget what civilians did to keep us alive, to bring supplies by boat and plane and helicopter. Just amazing stories. Organizations and state agencies then stood up. HIEMA, Department of Education, Health, Human Services, started working with Maui County in the moment. FEMA and Bob Fenton has to be mentioned as one of our heroes, twice if we're going to account for size. And his partner, sorry, there has to be some levity. It's just unbelievable what has gone on. And his leader, our administrators here again, Administrator Criswell, amazing. So meals were purchased and a school was built. We're going to have our experts dive into the details. So disaster relief began immediately, but of course it was never enough. There's been mental health care needs that exceeded capacity, medical needs that overwhelmed facilities in both the hours and the days and weeks after. But everyone came together, American Red Cross, FEMA, and Mayor's team, thousands of volunteers actually. So first thing that happened was we placed 7,797 individuals into hotels. No one's ever done that before. It happened in 13 days across 40 hotels, and 1.1 million meals were served. I want to recall that because the world was watching, and we just don't have a lot of houses available, and then we didn't have another county to go to. Couldn't just send 3,000 people to Lanai. Can you imagine trying that? So we had to do things that were never done before, and so for that I'm going to be forever grateful to our hotel partners and just to the team that was creative and willing to do that. And people understood, those people who understand Hawaii and have been here as visitors, as friends and family. Concerned citizens and organizations like CNHA and the Hawaii Community Foundation. Unbelievable how they expanded and mobilized to be able to absorb the sense of aloha that was coming from the mainland, where hundreds of millions of dollars poured in, but they had to manage that in a way that was responsible and to bring resources so that we could start building houses, so that we could do grants for people. They ran a parallel government entity essentially to what we were doing, and it was amazing. It kept people alive. And
once again, this is a live news conference with Governor Josh Green. Also in the wings is Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson, along with Bob Fenton from FEMA. We are going to keep a close eye on this news conference. We have our news crew there. They will be giving you a recap of what was said later this evening on evening editions of Hawaii News Now. We will also continue to stream this on our digital platforms and bring you any other details from it as we go along.